Jesus, can you hear me? It's your favorite son, Edwin. Please stop this virus. We've had just enough of it. Salmon of knowledge, just a salmon of knowledge, just a salmon of knowledge, just a salmon of knowledge, salmon of knowledge, salmon of knowledge podcast. Jesus, can you hear me? Jesus, can you hear me? Jesus, 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 you are God's son. Jesus, 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 we've run out of wine at this particular wedding. Come on, make some wine out of water, do your trick. Come on, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, where are you now? Whatever happened to Jesus? He was doing so well, and then he just hit 33, and that was it. No more, never heard from him. He said a few things, and he was crucified. I mean, if Jesus had been on Twitter, I wonder how that whole thing would have played out. If Jesus was just tweeting these things, you know. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Hashtag meeks come good. Hashtag meek inheritance. Hashtag unexpected. Hashtag Sermon on the Mount. Hashtag Son of God. Another tweet from Jesus. Walked on water today. And then comments underneath from the official Roman Empire Twitter page. Pixar, it didn't happen. Hashtag don't believe you. Hashtag King of the Jews. Brackets not. You don't put brackets in a hashtag. That's why the Roman Empire fell. They were just no good at memes. Jesus in the digital world. Would he have a Facebook page? Would he have a podcast? Now there's an idea for a podcast. Jesus Christ, the podcast. I don't know what you call it. Son of God. I mean, it'd be great to have Jesus giving his hot takes. I mean, more people listen to Joe Rogan now than listen to Jesus Christ. So how's everyone doing? This is 34 and so much more. We never thought we'd see the score. Now, big news this week. Jack Charlton, the English-born, English football World Cup winning 1966 team player, who then later went on to inspire a couple of hit songs. And also, he was involved with football. Boom, 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 ba-doo, boom, ba-doo, do, 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 football, football, kicking the ball and kicking the ball and kicking the ball and scoring all the goals, and then we'll win all the games, and then we'll be the greatest football team that ever went to a tournament. Kind of lost it at the end there. Yeah, Jack Charlton, manager of the Republic of Ireland soccer team, or soccer, as some people pronounce it. Football, we'll call it. I mean, football is the original thing that we would normally call it. Most famously, we qualified, I say we. See, this is the thing I don't get about sports. I understand sports. I don't necessarily hate sports. Like there's friends of mine that are very, very anti-sport. They're like so anti-sport. They're like, why does it need its own section in the news? But when something transcends sport, which is what happens with sport, sport can become something else, become culturally or socially significant. Like when Muhammad Ali, a.k.a. Cassius Clay, a.k.a. Floating Butterfly Punchy Man, when he threw his medals in the river that he won in the Olympics because they wouldn't serve him in a coffee shop because of the colour of his skin. And he said, what's the fucking use of these medals anyway? That's an impression of Muhammad Ali from an Offaly man who can't do impressions. Not me now, I'm great at impressions. But yeah, Muhammad Ali used his, he wouldn't fight in the Vietnam War. They stripped him of his titles and he couldn't box for a few years and whatever. He stood up for his principles. So he became more than just a man who was very skilled at beating other men unconscious or hitting them more times than they hit him, which is what boxing is. If you're ever trained by a professional boxer trainer, he'll say, now what I want you to do is I want you to hit this man until he's unconscious, or I want you to hit him enough times that he loses the game. But we don't call it a game, we call it a fight. Now write that one down, Muhammad. It's a fight. And you're going to win it. So like Muhammad Ali, Jack Charlton loved to box. No, Jack Charlton helped transcend sport. Like, I remember where I was when the Republic of Ireland football team got into the quarterfinals of the 1990 World Cup in Italy. I remember everything about it. I remember the logo was this kind of like, now the logo for Italia 90 looks like the sort of framework for an animated character. It was very kind of boxy. It was like pixels come to life, and it didn't really have much of a personality. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know, an Italian spicy salami with eyes saying, I love it to play the football. It wasn't that, you know, because I mean that would have been pretty xenophobic to Italians, so they wouldn't have done that to themselves. But I remember the little dots on the side of the screen when the time would come up and all that stuff. I remember the jerseys. I remember myself and my younger brother. I don't know where my parents were, and I don't know where my older brother was. I think my older brother was probably watching it in a pub or in like a smoking room with a pipe on a small tube TV, because we didn't have flat screens back then. It's far from flat screens you were raised. We were raised 200 miles away from the nearest flat screen factory. And myself and my younger brother in the sitting room on our knees in front of the TV screen. I mean, it was tense. It was bloody tense. Packy Bonner saved the goal with his hands and did his little jump in the air and said in his Donegal accent, I'm after saving the goal. And they all rushed out. Who was it? It was Dave O'Leary. Dave O'Leary. Yeah, Dave O'Leary. He used to talk like this. Who actually was Irish, because a lot of the players were English, which is what confused me at the time. Was, you know, your Republic of Ireland team, it was the granny rule. If you had a granny or a granddad who was Irish, you could play for the Republic of Ireland team. So people who grew up in England and couldn't get on the English football team, or some of them would just want to play for the Irish football team. So there was this sense of, sure, what are we going to do? We're Ireland. We're not going to achieve anything. We should just be happy with the little bit of success that we have. And like qualifying for it was a big deal. And Jack Charlton had this kind of sense of, well, you know, we're going to go over there and we're going to compete. We've got a good team. It doesn't matter that we're a small country. It doesn't matter that this is our first time in a World Cup finals. Why should we expect, you know, any different? And he gave the whole team and the whole country this kind of confidence boost. Now, there's like various articles around saying, did Jack Charlton bring about the Celtic Tiger era? Did the confidence he instilled in the country through sporting endeavours help bankers and other investors and business people go, hey, maybe we can do that, but for business instead of footballs? Who knows? Maybe. But I think, you know, it's one of those things where he did something that absolutely 100% everyone remembers. Everyone in the country remembers. You either remember where you were or how you were or what you were. You remember all of the things.
We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete. prepare and we'll go and we'll do our best. We'll put them under pressure. The game is about being effective, being aggressive, winning the ball, getting on with the play. We'll put them under pressure.
And we're back, guys. Listen, I have been wandering around Dublin. I have been wearing, I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram, I've been dressing like a Red Dead Redemption cosplayer, where I have a bandit scarf around my nose and mouth, and more importantly, beard. Because here's the thing, I got like two masks, two like reusable, washable black masks to slim my face. I bought two, one for me, one for my wife Cara, who is not my wife, but like just in case you're confused. I was expecting a special wedding podcast edition live from Cara and Ed's wedding. No, I just don't like saying fiance because it sounds pretentious, so I call her my wife. Or in a Dublin accent, the ball and chain. So I bought two masks, one for me, one for Cara. There is a sort of a sense of everything's fine now. I was in St. Stephen's Green yesterday walking through, and the playground thing was open, and kids were like pawing and licking all of the slides, and people are walking three abreast on the path. I still have to jump onto the road to avoid them. People don't seem to give a shit, but in my head I've gone, right, everyone's relaxing. Just today I saw a report that 20 new cases in one building site, as in, why am I explaining that? I mean, I just said what it is and now I'm explaining it. This is the ultimate in fucking mansplaining here. 20 new cases on a building site, which means that 20 builders were confirmed to have the virus. It's Ed Salmon reporting for the Mansplaining News. It seems like, I don't know, maybe in a week there could be way more cases, second wave sort of thing. So I figured, look, I've got to wear some kind of mask. And because my beard is to the point where, you know, people were sort of saying Santa Claus under their breath, but now they're very explicitly pointing at me, shouting Santa Claus. Some people are saying, "Where's your big red suit?" And things like that. And you know, I realise other people are jealous of the fact that I can grow a massive beard, and I did decide to wear a mask. Now I haven't been wearing a mask. I've been going into supermarkets not wearing a mask. It's been easy to avoid people because I go in the morning usually into Lidl because, hey, look, it's cheap and it's German and it's efficient. So I went in, actually, this is the thing, I didn't go early in the morning, that was a mistake, but I was out for a walk and I noticed the cut flowers that were on our kitchen table were getting a bit dead. I mean, they're dead to begin with. The minute you do that, it's like putting a severed head in a vase. It's eventually going to rot. Same with flowers, except flowers are much, much nicer to look at and have a better fragrance than a severed head. So Cara was away visiting someone, so I said, I'll get some nice flowers. So there'll be like fresh flowers for when Cara comes in. And I like flowers as well. I like fresh flowers. And, you know, we've many, many plants growing in our apartment. So I got some lilies. I said, I'll go in. I saw some lilies. And I picked up the lilies. And then I said, okay, I may as well get something else as well while I'm here. Is there anything we need? Or running low on my Wadi cordial So I got an orange my Waddy cordial, and I got some kitchen rolls, 2 kitchen rolls. And I thought, all right, fair enough. And then I'm in the queue, and there's 2 girls who I don't know if they're standing in the queue or if they're looking at wine, because they're standing on the spot where they have these, 2 meter spots for you to stand on. And I'm like, And then the front of the queue moves, and I realise, all right, they're not in the queue. They're just looking at wine, but maybe they should be more aware of where they're standing. And while I said that, there's like 3 women with prams who are all friends, and they come up and get in the front of me, and then they look and they say, oh, sorry, we didn't know. And I said, yeah, I thought these women were in the queue, but they're looking at wine. And they said, well, you come down here to me. And I walked down, and as I'm doing that, the 2 girls kind of turned around and were like, oh, sorry. And the women were, oh, you stand here. And then a man came around the corner, and he was like, oh. And none of us were wearing masks, and we're all standing around in a big clusterfuck. And I thought, this is it. I'll look back, and if I test positive for COVID-19, it'll be me surrounded by confused women and a man in a Lidl, and I went in for lilies, my waddy, and kitchen rolls. 3 absolutely 100% non-essential items. So I'll keep you updated. We'll see where I am next week. I feel fine. I downloaded the COVID-19 app where you check in every day, and there's like 1,300,000 people have downloaded it, but I usually check in at the end of the day because, it's the end of the day. So in the evening time, and I've never seen it go above 250,000. So if 1 million people have it, 1,300,000 people have it. There's a lot of people who aren't checking in. I don't know why they even have it, because that's the whole point of it, for fuck's sake. So that's my rant over about COVID-19. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back after these messages. Are you a bald businessman who needs to look his best for that all-important meeting? You are? Then you need Shiny Dome. It's not your fault that you're so full of testosterone you've gone bald. You need to close that deal. The only thing worse than a bald head is a dull bald head. Shine it up now and regret nothing later. Shiny Dome Head Wax, paid for by the Bald Society of Ireland. Okay guys, we are back, and we have the latest episode of Love Notes, which is becoming very, very interesting. Lots of stuff is happening. Of course, you'll hear a recap of all the stuff that's gone on. If you want to catch up on Love Notes, I think this is episode 5 or 6, I don't know. Go back a few episodes and you'll eventually get to the beginning. Or listen to my show from the very beginning. If you want to become a patron of Edwin Salmon of Knowledge, you can go to Patreon and look up Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. And for as little as 3 ducats a month, you can get extra content. Right now, there's a whole episode where I review Airplane. There's an episode where I review Planet of the Apes. You'll get these episodes early, longer, ad-free. And there's a few essays, there's a few bloopers, a few songs that didn't make the final cut. There's lots of lovely stuff up there. So if you don't want to do that, you can just follow me on Spotify, just pressing a button. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give me a review. It really helps the podcast in general. Here's the review, 5 stars, class, great stuff, love having Ed in my ears. So I've even written it for you. If you really want to help me out, you can, at night when you're going to sleep, just press play, turn the volume down, press play on episode 1 of my podcast, and just let it play through all of the episodes. And that also will help get my numbers up. I really, really appreciate it. If you don't want to do any of that stuff, that's also fine. I'm just happy that you listened, and I hope that you're safe and well, and everyone you know is happy out. So guys, I'll see you next week. Thanks very much for listening, and here's Love Notes. Previously on Love Notes.
Oh, how are you, Peter?
Why is no one here in the club love notes?
Well, I'll tell you. Paul, who used to own Love Notes, came in, got his trumpet, went to the fun fair, which is haunted, although I don't believe that, although a lot of people say they do. And then Tina and Tony went up to spy on him, disguised themselves as two Italian people, and then snuck round the back of the tent to find out that he's in cahoots with the witch called Cara, and they're using the old trumpet that belonged to Miles Davis in order to bring back the spirit ghost of Miles Davis to open a rival club called Ghost Notes to rival Love Notes, the jazz club that we are in right now. Then Tony jumped out with a gun, and now they're on a standoff.
Jesus. Alright, I'll come back tomorrow.
We now return to Love Notes in progress. So, Tony, I guess you're going to use your gun on me with your bullets.
Yeah, I own both of them. The gun and the bullets.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know. Listen.
I'm listening.
I can't believe you're in cahoots with Paul.
Cahoots, is it? Well, cahoots is a very strong word. What does cahoots mean?
Shut up, Tina. I don't have time to explain words to you now.
Listen, Tony.
I'm listening.
I know you think you have the upper hand here with the gun pointed at me.
Will you stop pointing that gun, for fuck's sake?
Paul, you'll do well to watch your language. And also you'll do well to not tell me where to point the gun.
Listen, all I'm saying is, point it at the ceiling. I mean, we know that you have the gun, and that should be enough. No, it's not the ceiling that I'm angry at. Listen, we know that. You'll still have the gun. We're a good bit away. We're not going to be able to run up to you and grab the gun without you lowering it, pulling the trigger, and the bullet coming out real fast. Paul, do you think I'm bloody stupid or what? Why are you explaining how a gun works? I'm the one who owns the gun.
Listen, lads. Please. Tony, you don't have to use the gun to make your point.
I know. I'm not making a point. I'm making a kill.
Jesus, Tony, I've never seen this side of you. I have.
What do you mean?
Well, when you've been married to you long enough, you'll learn about it.
We were married for 6 months.
6 months is a long time. It's half a year.
Yeah, I know. Listen, Tony, about the incantation. It doesn't have to go down. It's fine. No one has to die.
No, somebody does have to die. Remember? Human sacrifice?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, who's going to die tonight? Is it going to be you, Cara? Or is it going to be Paul?
Cara. What do you mean?
I'm saying you make the decision.
Tony, what are you doing? You're fucking mad.
Tina, watch your language.
I will fucking not watch my language. This is absolutely a scenario where language is just absolutely fucking completely justified. The bad language, I mean, you bollocks.
All right. That's enough of that. Okay. Maybe I won't kill everyone.
What are you talking about, everyone?
Oh, sorry, I mean, maybe I won't kill you, Cara. I mean, it's one of the commandments. Thou shalt not kill your ex-wife who is a witch with a gun. I don't think that is a commandment, Tony. You sure up, Paul. I've had just about enough out of yous. All right, you're the man with the gun. Yeah, I've got the gun, so people will listen to me for once.
Tony, what are you talking about? You're always saying shit and we're always listening to you. Well, I am anyway. God, I'm so sick of being a woman in this bloody...
Tina, relax, will you?
No, I won't relax. You relax. You're always talking and you're always the big man, the big jazz man, Tony, with your big gun. Well, I've had enough of it. I'm quitting Love Notes.
You bloody what? Tina, if I could just interject there for a minute.
What is it, Paul?
Listen, when I was talking to you as Juditha earlier on...
Yeah?
I maybe revealed a few things, feelings and that maybe I shouldn't have revealed.
What are you saying? Are you saying you regret what you said?
I'm saying maybe I should rethink it. It's just that I have feelings for someone else as well. Jesus, how many feelings can one man have? Listen, Tony, I've got a lot of feelings, all right? And I'm not afraid to share them. And I don't need a gun to speak my mind. Well, maybe if you had a gun, people would respect you.
That's your problem.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you and guns. You've gone your whole life thinking you're a big shot man with your big bang guns and your stupid fat hands.
All right, I'm going to put away me gun.
Oh, thank God.
That's a good decision there, Tony.
Don't you tell me what I'm doing when I'm deciding things and whether it's good or not.
All right, Tony, all right, calm down. I'm going to put away me gun. But everyone's still going to listen to me, right? Even though I don't have a gun.
Whatever.
Right, here goes me gun back in me pocket.
So, we can talk like civilized people without the threat of imminent bullet murder hanging over us?
Paul, first off, I think it's very, very poor taste for yous to be trying to set up a rival club. It's even in more poor taste that you're trying to do it with my ex-wife, Cara the Witch. And it's even in more poor taste that you're dragging Miles Davis's ghost into the mix. The poor man's been dead for years. You're going to disturb his slumber. His resting in peace is going to be in pieces.
Clever wordplay, Tony.
Yeah, clever wordplay, Tony. But I'm afraid the deal has been done. We've gone too far. I can't turn back now.
Paul, are you saying you have regrets?
Yeah, I've got regrets, Tina. Regrets about a lot of things.
Yeah, what kind of things?
Things I should have done. Things I should have said. I just never had the time.
Are those the lyrics to You Were Always on My Mind?
I think so. I mean, they're pretty apt right now.
Yeah, I guess they are. If I could just interrupt you two lovebirds.
What are you talking about? I'm not in love.
Yeah,
Love? What are you talking about?
All right. Deny your feelings all you like. Paul, you signed a contract with me, and once a contract is signed, I see it out to the letter. And in this case, the letter is a human sacrifice.
That's not a letter. That's a series of words.
Once again, Tony, you always have to be right. And in this instance, you are right. But I will say this. Who's going to be the human sacrifice?
Well, that's the one thing that nobody knows up to this point, although everyone is very concerned about who's going to die.
Will it be you, Tony?
Well, I think I'd be the number one choice, being your ex-husband, whom you still have a grudge with, even though we broke up over 2 years ago when you run out of town for being a witch, which is what you are.
Cara, no, don't kill Tony. He's a good man. I mean, he's a bit of a shit, but he's a good man. No, it's not Tony.
Oh, well, Jesus, that's a relief.
Is it Paul?
Wait, whoa, what are you talking about? Is it me?
Yeah, that's the question I asked.
You're going to kill me, but I'm the one who set this up. We're partners. You can't kill me.
Exactly. I can't kill you. So you're saying it's me, Tina. I'm the one who's going to be...
No, it's not you.
What?
Well, if it's not me, Tony, and it's not Paul, and it's not Tina, then whose is it that you're going to be murdering in the sacrifice for the incantations to bring Miles Davis's ghost back?
The incantation and human sacrifice calls for someone to be sacrificed. But that person has to be in love with me, Cara, the witch.
And well, jeez, I'm glad I'm not in love with you anymore.
I know. I can sense that you have feelings for someone else.
What do you mean?
I just know you, Tony. I mean, we were married for 6 months. You get to know a lot about a person in 6 months, especially when they're in love.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I think you have feelings for someone close to you. Someone who's been very close to you these last few episodes of your life. Tony, what's she talking about?
Sure up, Tina. She's not talking about nothing to do with yous and me's.
What?
Sure up, Tony. Paul.
Cara? Cara? Oh, that's me. Listen, Tony, Paul, Tina.
Cara?
I'm sure you've noticed the minions who were here earlier on in the other tent.
Yeah, the lads wearing the black hoods with the red daub, the thing on their forehead.
It was blood. Yes, you're right, Tina. It was blood. My blood. A lot of the minions claim to love me, but only one of them actually does. Enter.
Jesus, who's that entering there at the end of the tent? He's wearing a hood.
I know, it's mysterious, isn't it? Now, pull down your hood and reveal yourself to everyone here, mysterious hooded man.
Jesus, It's you.
I can't believe it.
Who the hell is that?
It's me, Johnny. Yes, you're all right to be shocked and gasping at this reveal of the hooded man taking his hood off. Of course, it can only be one person. Johnny, who works in Love Notes and is the only other person in this entire episode of our lives.
Jesus, I can't believe you did this to me, Johnny. After all I did for you.
What are you talking about, boss? I'm just hanging around with Cara. Oh, she's a demon in the sack.
She's a fucking witch.
What? I'm sorry, Johnny. I thought you knew that. What with the hood and the blood and eating those cursed egg sandwiches in preparation for the sacrifice.
Oh, Jesus. You see, Tina? The sandwiches were cursed. I knew it, and I'm right.
Oh, Jesus, Tony. I just wish this was one time that you weren't right.
Me too. God, I never wished I was wrong so much in me life. Well, I'm just relieved that I'm not the sacrifice.
What are you talking about? Sacrifice? The Elton John song? And it's no sacrifice.
Quick, Paul.
While Johnny's singing,
no
get the sacrificial altar ready. It's time.
No
the time has come.
What are you talking about? A while back you said that the sacrifice was going to happen at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Well, I lied, Tony. It's going to happen right fucking now.
Jesus. What will happen next in Love Notes? Will Johnny be sacrificed on the altar in order to bring back Miles Davis's ghost? Will Tony reveal his true feelings for Tina? Will Paul finally achieve his dream of owning a jazz club? Are there any of those cursed egg sandwiches still available? Tune in next week for more Love Notes. Wow, I never expected that. Johnny, one of my favourite characters in the show, is facing death. Will it happen? I kind of hope so, because it'd be a shame if it didn't happen at this stage. It's been building up to this point where we need the human sacrifice in order to bring the ghost of Miles Davis back, and I think that'd be exciting to see. It'd be kind of shit and boring if it just kind of all fell flat in its face and nothing happened. So I've got my fingers crossed that Johnny's going to be sacrificed. I mean, I do love the character so much. He's become, in the few scenes that he's had, he's become an integral part of Love Notes. But we'll find out next week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all have a good week and take care of yourselves and each other. Remember to sneeze into your elbow and sing the Sneezing Into Your Elbow song. Bye. See you later now. Goodbye now. Into my elbow, into my elbow, into my elbow, I will sneeze into my elbow. And I don't believe that you shouldn't wear a mask, 'cause honey, masks stop flu. Into my elbow, sneezing into my elbow, or into a handkerchief that I will dispose of neatly into the bin. Disease into the bin. I'll wash my hands for 20 seconds, but I won't sing happy birthday. I'll just sing the song.